Hello guys, I hope you're doing good wherever you are, and welcome to NameTech channel. My name is Nehemiah, and today I'm going to guide you to how to create a very professional website based on what I've been teaching you. So this is the kind of website that we are going to design. You can see I have my very beautiful designed logo here, and then I have my navigation links here for home, for about, for blog and contact. So when I click it, it will direct me to different pages, but I don't want to do it now. We'll do it later. Let's view first of all this home page, and then I have the title here, my World Top University, my text there, and then I have my button here. When I have on it, you can see it changes to another color, and then when I click it, it will direct me to the home page, but we will not do it now. And then I have courses that we offer, and then I've created 3 columns here with the so when I have on it, you can see it changes to another color. So these are the courses that we offer at the NameTech. And then we have the mode of teaching. So the mode of teaching, I've created these 3 columns again with the images. So when I have on it, you can see the first one is YouTube, and the second one is website. Though I don't have a website, I have a website now, but I have not hosted, but I'm going to host very soon. And then we have the Facebook here. So this is the mode of teaching. And then our facilities. Then I created 2 columns here for this first one, and then the second one. And then I have what our students say. So this is the testimonial. We have 2 testimonials. The first one has a rating of almost 5, and then the second one has a rating of 3. So actually this, and then you have some image here, some image there, and then you have a call to action here. So enroll for courses now, and then you have this button. So when you click on it, it will direct you to the contact us page. Then you have a very beautiful footer here, the about us, some text, and then some these are links, those social media links, and then you have the corporate message down there. And then when you see, when you go to another page, like let's say about, you can see it goes to about, and then in the about you have a different header, and then some these are some courses we offer, just lifted from the home page with this part. And then the footer, now the footer is the same for all pages. And then you have the conductors. So in the conductors, still I lifted this part, and then you have I created the form here, so someone can fill their name, and then they choose their country, and then perhaps write something there. And then when they click submit, it will direct you. If you have linked this page, if you have linked this page to the server, or if you will host it, when you submit it, you will get it. But now for now, we haven't used any language for server side. That's why it will not open, it will not function. So that's now how it is. Then the footage that just the same. So let's see this page on a smaller screen. So let me right click, then inspect. So this is a smaller screen. So first of all, let me go to the home page. So this is the home page now. So in the home page, I have the navigation bar. So when I click on it, you can see it opens. When I click again, it closes. And then I have those are the H1, the text, the title, and then some text. Then those are call to action, and then we have the courses we offer. So it is very beautiful. It's a single column, so you can see it's very responsive on a smaller devices. So perhaps let me try when I click to other pages, like let's say about page. So you can see it is very beautiful. So when I go again to the conductors, perhaps you can see also it is very responsive. There are someone, they can fill their details here and then submit. So this is the kind of website that we are going to design, me and you, step by step. So guys, keep it here. Just be patient. When you haven't understood, just rewind the video and make sure that we got it. So straight away, let's go to it. And so the requirements, guys, before we get started, you need to have a text editor. A text editor is like the Visual Studio Code. I always recommend it. But we also have Sublime Text. We have Notepad++. We have Atom. We have brackets and name it. Also, we have the other thing you need to have is the browser. And the browsers that I recommend is the Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and perhaps Firefox. And then another thing that you need to have to get started into this project, you need to have some photos on your computer. So right away, let's open our File Explorer. So this is my File Explorer, and then we're gonna decide where you're going to place that folder for your project. So for my case, I'm going to place it at this second partition named Media. So in the Media, then I'm going to place it at the cheat sheet. And then is the place where I'm going to create a folder. So perhaps this folder, I can say, you can give it any name, like let me say my website. Any name works. So now that you have your the folder there, you can close your file. Before you close, ensure that you place the images and the same folder here. So go to where your images are. So my images are here, and then I have my images named from number 1 to number 18. So these are my images that I'm going to use in this project, in this design this website. Also, I have my banner image. So this banner image, this is what I will place at the landing page there, at the home page. And then I have my logo. And then I have the images that I use for testimonials. So I have testimonial 1, testimonial 2, and then testimonial 3. So now let me copy or move this folder to that folder for our project. So it is in this second partition, then cheat sheet, and then my website. Then move it there. And then now you can close, or before you close, you can confirm if it's there. It is there actually. So actually there my images are there. So you ensure that it is in the same folder where your files for HTML files and CSS are. Otherwise it will not work. And then open your browser. I said that I'm using the Visual Studio Code. I always recommend it. So let me just look where it is. Visual Studio Code, here it is. Open it, and then here at the file section, click on the file, and then I'll go to open folder. Here it is. And then we're gonna go to the you go to the cheat sheet, and then you select my website, the folder for that you have named, and then you can just click on save. So the workplace is going to be this place cheat sheet, and then open. So I have my folder opened there, but now you can close these other instructions here. So I have my folder opened to my text in my text editor. So this is the name of the website of the project. It's my website. Then my images are there. So you want to create a folder here, a name file here, a HTML file. So the HTML file, give it any name, but remember it ends with the extension .html. So I'm going to give it any name like index.html. Remember, index not a must. You can give it any name, but remember it ends with the HTML, like home.html or whichever name. Then create another story. So in the same folder, you're going to create another file for CSS. So let me say my styles, and my styles.css. The key thing, remember, is the extension .css. So now that you have your document there, you can actually close this. You can hide this this sidebar, so that you can see everything that we are going to code here. So probably we will try to make this to make two windows out of to make two windows, so that it may be easy for presentation. And then I'm going to open my file explorer, and then I'm going to the media, and then to the cheat sheet, and then to the to my website, and then open this. It's displaying the Chrome logo, because Chrome is my default browser. So just open it, click it, and until it opens. So here is my my page. It's blank like that because we haven't coded yet. So ensure that just click this window for my file explorer, so that I remain with only these two files here. But you can actually zoom. You can zoom in. So let me zoom in so that you may see very well everything that you are going to code. So now I have two documents here, two files here. I have the CSS and then the HTML. So remember, CSS is all about styling a HTML document. So first of all, you need to have your HTML data there. So just write, if you're using the Visual Studio Code, you can just create this, type this exclamation mark, and then click enter to create the structure of our HTML document. But if you're using another text editor like a Sublime Text, you can just type HTML, and then you click enter to give you the structure of our web page. And then in this title, you can give it any name. So like for my case, I'm going to say Name Tech University. So this is the, so let me say Name Tech University. This is the name of the website that I'm going to create. University, right? So now that's the title. To just appear the tab section, and then now in this body, I'm going to create a section here. So section, so then we create a comment here and say header, and then in the header, so now let me create a section, section dot header, and then I click enter. So the class is header, and then the section is the the tag here. So now let's make it that way, and then now save. Ensure you save. Always ensure that you save your work. So before you code anything to the CSS, ensure that you have linked your CSS to your HTML document. So to link it, you're going to type link, and then click enter. If you're using the Visual Studio Code, the goodness with it just complete for you. And then here I can type my styles. That's the name of the CSS. My style.css, and then save. So now to this CSS, the first thing before I do anything, let me create the margin for the entire and padding for the entire page, entire document, entire page. So I just write the star, and then I'm going to say margin. I give it 0, and then padding also 0, and then save. So now in this so now let me create a comment here with the with the Visual Studio Code. The shortcut for creating comment is just write control plus / to create a comment there, and then I can say header. So now that I have the header, so let me just make at least to be appear like that, and then now I'm going to write header, and then open the curly braces. Remember, the curly braces, they are just opposite P, the letter P on your keyboard, just above the square brackets. Those are the curly braces. So now the first thing property we write here is the mean height for our header. So the mean height, you can give it 100 VH, and then we are going to give it width to be 100%, so that it may cover everything. And then you are going to create the background. I'm going to use a background image, the banner image there and the page. So the background image, and then I'm going to use the linear gradient. So linear gradient, and then in the linear gradient I'm going to give it a two color code. So RGBA. Remember, red, green, and blue with an extension of alpha. So basically, these are the colors that generate other colors, the red, green, and blue. But now A defines the opacity, and then here you just open they are called brackets. So in these brackets, you're going to write 0, 0, 0. Remember, that's black, but the opacity is 0.5. 0.5. So let me just write again there, or you can just copy and paste it there. So but let me just write for the sake of everyone, to favor everyone. So RGBA, and then open and close the brackets, and then say 0 again, 0 again, 0, and then opacity 0.5, 0.5. And then now you are going to create the URL here. So URL, so in this URL you are going to place the image there. So the name of the folder for images is images, I guess, and then you put the /, and then you choose, I named it as a banner, then when you're done, also create the background size so that it may cover. I'm using the background size to cover the entire page, actually to cover the entire page. And then our background position where it is. So background position background position. So here it is. I like using this suggestion they give, this text editor gives. So the position is going to be center, and then the position, let's give it a relative. Position should be relative, and then ensure that you save. When you are done, you go to your browser, and then I click Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, when I refresh, you can see you have the background image there. So this is the background image for our page. And so now let's go to our text editor so that we may place some images, some the menu, the navigation bars, and some text. So first of all, let's go to our HTML. To our HTML now. We are going to create the navigation bar. So we just write nav. For navigation bar. And in this first nav, we are going to create before that we are going to create I have a logo, so I need to place it there. So I'm going to use IMG, and then I'm going to use images. The folder is images, and then the name of the image is logo. But now let me just delete this alternative text here. Actually, it's not important there. So actually it will appear repeated. So click Ctrl+S to save, and then refresh. Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see I have my image there, but it's very big. I need to style it, right? So go to your HTML. I need to actually to resize this image and actually make it round, make it circle, so that it may be a good logo. So go to your CSS, and then go to this other end, and then we are going to say dot header, then now img, yeah. Then open and close the curly braces, and say the height of the image to be let's say 100 pixel, and then it should be circle. So border radius, we use the property border radius. I'm going to give it 50% so that it may be circle, and then I'm going to give it padding at 10 pixel, actually 10 pixel. So this padding is the space around that image, percent, actually pixel, we use pixel, and then Ctrl+S to save, and then on the browser refresh, Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see I have my logo. I don't know if it's big, but probably that's okay with me. Yeah, I guess that's okay with me. So now I'll go to your your HTML documents again, and then now at the end of this image, create a div. So just say dot nav link. So we want to have for navigation links, navigation bars there, links. So nav links, and then I click enter, and then I create some space there. So in these navigation links, we are going to create the list there. Remember those navigation, we use the list to create them. So we're going to say UL, then I click enter. So before that, let me just arrange my work to be properly, so that it may not leave a lot of space. Yeah. So now in this UL, I'm going to create also another LI. So LI for list itself. So LI, and then click enter, and then in this LI, I'm going to create the images. So I'm going to use the anchor tag, and then now in this anchor tag, I'm going to actually give it, let me just use hash. I don't have the URL for that. And then here I'm going to say home. So let me just copy, and then you can paste it, so that we may have for home, about, and probably so let me say home, about, blog, and then here contact. So when you're done, just click Ctrl+S, and then on the browser just to refresh. It appears just ugly. So you can see guys, it appears very ugly like that because we haven't styled it yet. So you can see it is on the other end here. So now let's go to our CSS and actually style it. So to our CSS here, I'm going to create a nav. So nav, click enter, and then open and close the curly braces, and then the first property I'm going to use is the display. Display should be flex, and then the second property I'm going to give the padding. So the padding of bottom and top and bottom is going to be 2%. Actually 2%, and then left and right is going to be 6%. Actually 6%. 6%, and then the other property, maybe justify content. So justify content, I'm going to say space between, space between, and then perhaps the last property on it is going to align at items. So align items is going to be center. Then I click Ctrl plus S to save, and then on the browser just refresh, Ctrl plus R to refresh. So as you can see, those lists are on this other end here, but still we need to style it further. So let's go to our CSS again and create another selector. So the second selector is going to be this dot nav link. Nav links. So ensure that it's the same as what is in the HTML. So yeah, nav links. It is nav links. And then open and close the curly braces, and then I'll say a flex, give it one, and then text align should be right. Where is it? Right. Then click Ctrl plus S to save. Before that, I just write some other properties here, maybe for nav links, but now we want to target that list itself, the UL and LI. And then open and close the curly braces and say list style. A list style you are going to say none, so that we may not have those they are called bullets and so forth. And then display is going to be inline block. And then padding, let's create some padding there. So the padding is going to be 8%, 8 pixel from top and bottom, and then 12 pixel left and right. 12 pixel left and right, and then our position is going to be relative. So another property, position is going to be relative. Where is it? And then I click Ctrl plus S, and then on the browser just to refresh, Ctrl plus R to refresh. So as you can see, I have my my icons there. I have those navigation bar there, but now still they are not that pleasing. I need to have to change the color to remove the backgrounds and so forth. So go to your CSS again, and now create another selector there. In this other selector, you're going to say, let me just copy it. Just copy and then paste it there. And then now let's now target the anchor tag itself, and then open and close the curly braces. And so now in this we are going to give the color, we're going to change the color to be white. I like white, so you can just type the color name, or you can use the those values like hexadecimal values and name it. And then text decoration, let's remove the underline, so that it's going to be none. And then font size, let's give it, so font size, or let me leave the way it is. Then I click Ctrl+S, and then on the browser refresh, Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see I have my menu there. So probably if they are not pleasing to you, you can change the font type, the fonts, by going to the Font Awesome Google Fonts to the internet, and then type Google Google.fonts, and then you can browse fonts here. You can browse fonts, and then you select the font that maybe it's pleasing to you. I can choose this one. So let me just select, before then let me just remove everything. So let me select this one, the light one, and then perhaps select this one also, and then select this. Yeah, so those three. And so now just copy these tags here, this link, and then copy and paste it to your head, to the head section of your HTML. Head section here. You ensure that it's between the start tag and then tag of the head. So, and then paste it there, and then go to again go to the place, the Google Fonts there, and then copy this other link here, other code down there, and then go to your text editor, and then to your CSS. Before then save, and then go to your CSS, and then at the top there, then just paste it there, and then I click Ctrl+S, and then refresh, Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see the fonts have changed. So but these are pleasing to me now. So the fonts are actually a bit pleasing, so they are a bit pleasing. And then now the other thing that we need to write here is the when you have your mouse here, I need I want it to display other effects there, like it may add some backgrounds, the background color and name it. So go to the text editor, and now to your CSS again, and then now copy this selector, copy, and then paste it there. But now when you have then open and close the curly braces. So when you have, I want to change actually the display, its display. So I'm going to say background color is going to be, let me think of a color. So let me just choose these ones. So for example, let me choose cyan, and then perhaps let me just save and then refresh so that you may see the effect. Control plus R. So as you can see, when I hover, it's going to display other effects. But now let me go to and then create some borders there. So let me create a border, and then with the border I'm going to say 1 pixel, and then solid, and then the color is going to be, perhaps let me say red. My color to be red, and then perhaps the border radius, let me give it actually border, so border radius is going to be, let me say 10 pixel, and then save, then refresh. Control plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see. Now let me just remove and let me add some padding there. So padding is going to be 10 pixel again, then save. Control plus S to save, so that it may not these are close to each other. So Control plus R, so that you can see so actually pleasing. So this is a navigation bar. You can style it the way you want, but for me I think that's good for now. Yeah, that's good for me at that place. So now let's go to the text editor, to HTML, and try to create other stuffs there, other text. Yeah, to the HTML, and then now when you are done, remember, just at the end of this UL, I'm going to create I'm going to create some paragraph there, some button, and so forth. So I'm going to create a div, and say so let me say, so with the class, so the class I can say, I can give it a text box. So dot text box. So this is where I'm going to write my text. Then I click enter. So now in this text box, the first thing that I'm going to write is the H1. So the H1. So in this H1, I'm going to say H1 first of all. Then I'm going to say worlds. You can give it any name. Worlds top online university. Worlds top online university. And then you're going to create another paragraph there, and then say lorem 20, for example 20, so that it may generate 20 words. And then now after this lorem, you are going to create another. So let me just go at the end of it. And then I'm going to create a button here, but this button I'm going to create first of all the anchor tag, and then I'm going to say maybe join us now. Actually, not really, not in this section. So here I'm going to give it the hash, and then now this place I'm going to say join us now. So this is the button. So now click Ctrl plus S, and then to your browser just refresh, Ctrl plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see it is there, but not that pleasing. You can see it's not that pleasing at all. So we need to style it again. So to our text editor, now going to our CSS, we are going to say, so the class so the selected is going to be the text box, remember. So dot text box, or let me just see how I named it. Yeah, text box. Let me just copy so that it may not text box right here. Text box, then open and close the curly braces. And so now I'm going to give it the width of 90%, and then I'm going to give it a color. So color should be white. Color should be white, and then perhaps position is going to be absolute, and then top is going to be 50%, and then left is going to be 50% again, so that it may be the sender. Then transform is going to be translate. Why is it translate? So negative 50%, and then negative 50, so that it may be at the sender. Negative 50%, percent. And then the other thing we need here is to align the text to be at this center. So text align sender. Then click Ctrl plus S to save, and then to your browser just to refresh, Ctrl plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see we have our text there, but still is not that professional. We need to style it more further. So go to the CSS again, and then create another selector, and then text. Just click dot, or you can just let me just copy this one. I had already copied, so I think it's my text box. And then I'm going to say, so before that, ensure that you write dot. Remember, div is a common denominator here. So when you write dot, so you distinguish a div for what. So the text box, but now we are targeting h1. So the h1. So let's open and close the curly braces. So in this text h1, let me say font size, give it something like let's say 62 pixel, and then now we are targeting the paragraph. So dot, and then p for paragraph. Open and close the curly braces, and say margin. I'm going to give it 10 pixel, 0 pixel, both left and right. And then in the left, actually in the at the bottom I'm going to give it 40 pixels so that it may create some space down there. Then and then you can give it the color should be white. I named it white, so color is white. And then save, Control plus S to save, and then refresh, Control plus R to refresh. So it is big, it is very big. So I'm going to try to reduce the font size and give it something like say 40 pixels. Then Control plus S, Control plus R to refresh. So I think this is good, but now the texts are very long. So probably let me try to use the line breaks there to my HTML. So I'm going to use to have some line breaks there. So BR, actually BR, so open BR, so BR, and then let's try another, let's see another place where we can write our BR. Perhaps let's insert the BR here. So BR, again our line break, then I click Control plus S to save, and then refresh, Control plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see it's actually that pleasing, but still the color whites now too bright. It's not too bright. So let's give it in another color to our CSS. Before that, I had forgotten to save, Control plus R, actually Control plus S, and then on the browser R now to refresh. So this university I'm going to, so with the university I'm going to give it a different color, actually the H1. So the H1, so let me remove the color here, and then paste it there, so that each element should have their own color. But now here I'm going to choose a different color, but let me just delete so that it may give me, so color, and then I'm going to choose a color, a very perfect color here. So which color is good? Let me choose powder blue, Control S, and then to my browser, Control plus R. So World Stop University, but the color still not that pleasing because the background is also it's also blue. So let me just choose Control plus S, Control plus R. Let it be the way it is. So now I need to style this button so that it may be, that professional. So to our CSS, now we are going to style the the btn. So let me create a class there to our HTML, and then now here I'm going to create a class. So class, it should be, so class I'm going to give it any name, like let's say let me say btn, btn for button, and then save. Then to your CSS now, you're going to create another selector here called dot btn for button, and then open and close the curly braces. And so now we're going to say display is going to be inline block, And then another property there, text decoration. I want to remove the underline, so text decoration is going to be none. And then another property, color, we need to change the color to be white. Color should be white. You can leave it any color, but these are my preferences. So border, I need to add some border there. So a border should be 1 pixel, 1 pixel, or 1 pixel, and then solid, and then the color, let me give it what? So the color, let it be, let me choose a color like hot pink. So hot pink, so let me just choose hot pink. And then another thing that we need to add there is the padding. So padding, remember I told you is the space around the element. So padding, I'm going to give it a 12 pixel, both top and the bottom, and then 34 pixel both left and right. And then the other thing that I'm going to give it is the background to be transparent. Background is going to be transparent. Why is it transparent? Transparent. Then position should be a relative. Why it is position relative. And then a cursor pointer, of course, cursor pointer. So cursor pointer, so that when you hover it may show that hand, the cursor pointer. Then Ctrl+S, and then here refresh. So guys, you can see that's now our button. But now this button, this border, the color for the border, the hot pink is not pleasing, does not match well with this background. So probably let me choose another color here, and probably let me say even green is better. Ctrl+S. Yeah, green is at least better. So you can see it has cursor pointer. But now let me style it so that when I have it may display other stuffs. So I'm going to create the selector, but the same selector btn, but now when you have a the colon and then a hover. So let me just see bt dot. Remember you're beginning the dot. So div is a common denominator, so you need to add dot btn, and then now when you hover, and then open and close, actually sorry, it's open and close the curly braces. Open and close the curly braces there. And so now let's style it when you hover. So when you hover, the border should just remain the way it is. And then now perhaps let's change the border, the color for the border. So of course it's going to be 1 pixel solid, but now the color, so the color should be what? Let me think of a color. So let me say orange, yeah. Orange. And then now let's say let's change the background itself. So the background color is going to be which color will match with the text. Remember the text are white, so we need a darker color. So let me say just a shadow brown. So I guess it's now perfect. But now let me add some transition transition for 0.5 seconds. Then save, Control plus S to save, and then refresh, Control plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see when I have on it, it changes to another color. So we need to create other section. You can see it is now responsive, but at least let me add some transition so that it may not just close that instant and open that instant. So to our text editor, let's add some transition here. So I'm going to say transition to these nav links. I'm going to say transition of a 0.5 second. Then click Control S to save. Always remember to save before refreshing on your site, because we are using the So guys, now you can see when you click on it, it doesn't close that instant. It has some transition there. So now our landing page is now very perfect. So now we want to create another page now, another section. So go to your text editor again, and then first of all to your HTML, and then let's create a page here. So this was header. So we are going to create another section. So to create a comment, before that, create a comment. Remember, a comment is just type Control plus / like that, and then perhaps you say let's say courses. Remember, I said this is an example of an university website, though not a real one, but just for the sake of tutorial. So this section is courses. So I'm going to give it a class. So section, first of all, if you're using Visual Studio Code, you don't have to write those tags, those tags actually. You just write a section dot and then give it a class. So let me say courses, and then when you click enter, it just complete for you. You just write those codes, and then it becomes very, very perfect. So this is the section that we are going to design, and then in this section we want to create a H1. So H1, let me say courses we offer. And then you can create it so a paragraph here, and then click enter, and then let's say lorem 20, so that it may generate 20 words. Remember, this is just a sample website, it's not a real one. That's why I'm using these free text that these text editors usually have, so that I may not waste time to type. So now when you're done with that one, then let's create another class. Let's create another class, and then click Control plus S to save, and then refresh, Control plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see at the bottom here we have some text, but it's not styled. That's why it's not that pleasing. So we need to style it further. So to our text editor, we are going to where were we? So here it is, and so now here in this place we are going to style it further. So we are going to style it. So let's go to our CSS, and then also let's create some comment. So this is the media query. So anything that you want to appear very presentable on small screen, you write in this media query. So let it be at the bottom here, and then here let's create another comment also in CSS, and then let's say this section is for courses. So courses. Remember, it's always good to write this comment so that you may identify the places where you coded for particular sections. So courses, courses, just courses, and then your comments there. And then now we want to begin with that with the course itself. So you just write courses. Remember the class was courses, right? Let me see. Remember the class must match. It is course, not courses. Or let me just say courses. Let me say courses. Remember when you write a different class on CSS, it will not have any effect on your browser. So courses is the selector, and then open and close the curly braces. And remember we're using this dot because div is our common denominator here. So you use dot to at least to distinguish it. So in this we are going to create a margin. Actually, first of all, begin with the width. Width we are giving it 80%. 80%. And then we're going to give it a margin to be auto, margin auto, and then we're going to give it a text align to align the text at the center. So you use text align, you say center. I like Visual Studio Code. It just give you those suggestions. You don't type a lot. And then we're going to give it a padding top. Let's give it 500 pixels so that it may create some space at the top here. It may not be that close to that landing page. Click Ctrl+S to save, and then you can refresh. So guys, you can see it is now at least a bit presentable, but let's try to create some line break here so that the text may not be that long. So go to your lorem here, to your text, and then write here a line break. We use BR for line break. Then save, then to your text editor, refresh, Ctrl+R to refresh. So I want to style it further so that it may create some margin between the paragraph and the text, and at least style this text to have some effects. So go to your CSS now, and then now to this second column we are going to, so the selector is going to be H1. And then open and close the curly braces, and then font size, or the font size is just perfect. So let's create a font weight. You can give it even 600 here, and then let's create also for the H3 for the paragraph actually, and then open the curly braces. And so these are the color. Let's give it let me this time use the color code, the color value. So I'm going to use 888 so that it may be a bit brownish. Let me see. Yeah, and then the font size. I can give it 14 pixel, and then the other thing that we need to add here, the font weight actually. Let me give it 300 because it's paragraph. 300. Then what else? Let's say the line height. So line height. So line height, I'm going to give it 22 pixel. And then padding, of course, padding. I'm going to give it, but padding, let me just say padding. I don't want padding. So padding here, padding I'm going to give it 10 pixels, and then save. So to your page, refresh. So at least you can see the text now. It's going to be very good, but still I see these line breaks are not, I did not style it very well. So let me just go back to my HTML, and then perhaps this line break, let me delete it here, and perhaps make it here. So BR. Also this last line break, let me give it something like here, BR, then I'll save. So Control plus R. Yeah, I think that's a bit it's a bit pleasing. So now we are going to create some three columns below this one, so that it may be some three columns here, so that for different courses, to show different types of courses that we are offering in this NameTech University. So let's go to this section. Let's create a div here, div, but now let's say .row. Just write .row if you're using this Visual Studio Code. So to give you a class row, and then we want to create some three columns here. So now I'm going to write the h3 here. Before that, let me create another div. So div, a div for what? Let me create a class. So let me say course column. So course call not really. Let me just delete. I forgot to begin with the dot. So it's I create a div here, a div called the course call. So let me just write dot course call column. So I want to create a course column here. Yeah, this is what I wanted. A course column, let it be the way it is, and then create some space there. So in this first line, I'm going to create a h3. So just write a h3, and perhaps let me say in this first column I'm going to say web development. We are offering web development courses, web development. So web development, and then let's create some paragraph for it. So you're going to just let's write P first of all. So you're going to write lorem, and then I click enter, so that it will give you some free text there. But if you are if you are designing your website, you can just take your time and then type the clear things. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just copy this section here like this, and create some three column. So copy and then paste. Again paste. I said I want to create some three columns, but now here I'm going to say let me say maybe software development, and perhaps these other section, let me say machine learning or anything, any course. Say, let's say machine learning. machine learning. So let's save, Ctrl+S to save, and then refresh. So guys, you can see we have now our head, but it's not in the 3 columns as we intended. So we need to style it with the CSS so that it may be that perfect. So let's go to our CSS now. To our CSS now, and then let's create let's create a selector. A selector should be raw. Remember raw, the class was raw, and then open and close the curly braces, and then give it a margin top. We want to create some space up there, so margin top, let's give it 5%. 5%, actually 5%, not pixel, 5%. And then we can give it the display. The display should be flex. Display should be flex so that it may go in that it may have columns. And then we are going to justify content. So just type justify content, space between here, and then first of all save, and then to your text editor just refresh, Ctrl+R. And so guys, you can see we have I have some text there for machine learning, software development, web development, software development, machine learning. So but now saying it's not perfect, I'll need to add some some background colors so that it may be a bit presentable. So let's go to our CSS first of all and style it further. So in this let's now create a dot. It was course column, I don't know, or what I do, let me just copy the class name, copy, and then to my CSS. Now let me just paste it there. Remember, if you write a different class, it will not have an effect there on your browser. So flex basis, we are going to begin with the flex basis. We are going to give it that 1%. At that 1%, where is it? That 1%, and then we are going to give it a background color. So background color, which color is good that will match the text? So I always like hot pink, so let me just choose hot pink, but now I want to make it lighter, I don't know, yeah, I will still change it will not be that perfect. You can just change the color. And then the other thing that we need to, let's create some border radius so that it may have around the corners. So border radius, I'm going to give it a 10 pixel. 10 pixels, perfect. And then margin bottom, I'm going to give it so that you may create some space down there. So I'm going to give it again 5%. And then another thing that we need to have is the padding. Remember, padding is the space around that box, and that your elements. So the padding, I'm going to give it 10 pixel, both top and right, and then I'm going to give 12 pixel left and right, 12 pixel left and right, and then box sizing. I'm going to give it border box. Then click Ctrl+S to save, and then to your browser just refresh, Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see I have it has a background, but still seeing the background color is very thick. It's very thick, so perhaps I need to make it lighter. So let me choose a lighter color then click Ctrl+S to save, and then now refresh. I don't know if this is perfect. Remember, you can decide, you can choose your color, the color that pleases you. But for me, let me try this one. Wow, this now is very dark, very dark. So what I do, let me just choose anyone here, any color there, and then let's go with it, with that one. Yeah, let's just use this one. Let's just use this one. So I guess, but we also need to add some, some background effect when you have on it, so that it may display some, some background somewhere, some backgrounds in the some background color. When you have it may have some effects. So to do so, we are going to, but before that, let's style the that heading, the H3. So H3 is the selector, and then now I'm going to open and close the braces, and then I'm going to say text align. Text align, I'm going to give it center, of course center, so that it may be at the center of the data box. And then our font weight, where is it? Font weight, this time it hasn't given me. So font weight, I'm going to give it 600. And then the other thing that we need to, let's create some margin and that heading. So margin, I'm going to give it, let's say 10 pixel. Remember, you can use different units, like for specifying the spaces for margin. You can use rem, you can use you can use what, em, and so forth. But I also prefer pixels. It's very easy to use. So let's do what, let's save. So Ctrl+S to save, and then now let's refresh. So now the text is now at the center. But remember, I told you that we want to make a shadow when you have on it. So let's go to our text editor, and now what I'm going to do, let me just copy this one, and then copy, and then I'm going to paste it there. But now I'm going to say when you have or hover or whichever name, so when you have you're going to use this one. So when you have let's change some background color. So let's create a box shadow. So box shadow. So the box shadow, I'm going to give it first of all, let's create some style. So let me give it 0 again, 0, actually 0 this is top, and then 0 left, and then 0 left, and then to the bottom, let me give it 20 pixel, and then now to the right, let me give it again 0 pixel, and then now you are going to write your color code here. So I'm going to say RGB, or I choose any color here. So let me red, it will be very bright. Ctrl+S to save, and then here refresh, +R. So you see guys, when I have it displays a different background, so that you can you can be sure that you are in this column. Yeah. So I guess this is perfect, but I probably just try to align this text for, this is H what, these are paragraph. So let me try to align the text at the left. So I'm going to say it is P, actually P, and that's the selector, and then I'm going to say a text align text, a text align, actually text align to be at the where to be at the left, so Control plus. Yeah, so guys, you can see now it's very perfect. So I guess this part is now perfect, so we need to go to another section. But now let's see if we are using the smaller devices. So for smaller screen, so guys, you can see it is very bad, it's not that pleasing, so we need to style it so that it may be perfect. So let's go to our media query, here, and then I want to write some property here. So we write a dot row, it was dot row, and then flex direction. So we are going to say flex direction. I'm going to give it a column so that it may have just a single column here, then, and then I save. Control plus S to save, and then here refresh. And so guys, you can see now our text are appearing very well on our smaller screens for mobile phones. So now let's create another section again. So go to your HTML, and now in this HTML of ours, I'm going to create another section. But remember to add the comments. So comment, and then I'm going to say for example, let me say training, or mode of training, or I give it whichever name, or let me say mode of training or teaching. This is the comment. Remember, they will not appear on your browser, but just help the developers to identify the places where they had code. So I'm going to give it a section. First of all, I'm create a section here. Remember, beginning with the dot section. Actually, you begin with the section. Remember, I don't want a div here. So section dot let me say the class, let me give it a class to be training, and then I click enter. So the class is training. Remember to use a class that you'll remember. So the class is training. So now I want to create some h1, so some brief description. So before that, I create a heading. So heading is a h1. Let me create a h1, then open and close the curly braces, and then now in this h1, not a master. Let me just undo h1, and then here let me just say mode of training, mode of teaching, and then let me create also the h3, actually the paragraph. I'm kind of confused, but just bear with me. Then let me just lay lorem 5, so that I may create some 5 words there. Lorem 5, or let me say 10. Lorem 10 to create 10 words, and then now click Ctrl plus S to save. Then to your browser, just refresh, Ctrl plus R to refresh. Oh, sorry guys, I had to create another another div here, so to distinguish them. Remember, I forgot. So the problem here is that I inserted this section to another section. So let me just cut, and then you see now where the problem is. You need to be keen. So let me just cut, and then remember not to add to another section. It will have a very bad effect on your browser. So it should be below this closing tag of the section of the other section. So I'm going to paste it there, and then save. Ctrl+S to save, and then here refresh. Yeah. So guys, you can see it is now below this one. So remember not to add to another section. So now it's appearing down here. So but we need to style it. So to style, remember we use the CSS to style HTML document, and then now this is the media query. So now here let me create also another comment so that I may not be confused like that. And then let me say this is what training. Let me see, mode of training, and then I'm going to create. So the selector is going to be, remember the class, or what I do, let me just copy the class name. So the class name is training. Remember, if you write a different class name, it will not have that effect. Do not style your HTML document. Then open and close the curly braces, and now here write a width of 80%. Give it 80%. You give it 80%. Then margin. Actually, margin should be margin like that. I'm going to give it auto. Actually, auto. That's the. And then I'm going to align the text at the center. So text align should be center. To align the text at the center, and then let me create some padding between the padding top. Let me create padding at the top there. So padding top. I'm giving it 50 pixel, and then I save, and then refresh. Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see it's now pleasing, but now I see there's an error here. So let me see. Oh, I know where the problem is. Remember in this it's picking this sorry, text align. Remember it's picking this remember I had another P here. It's now picking this one. So what I'll do, let me change now the class name. Let me say this is training. So I'm going to say dot training, or what I do, let me say the other one. Let me style this other one. It was what? This H3 was for for course column. So what I'm going to do, let me just copy and paste it here. Ctrl+V, and then I save so that it may not have the same effect. Yeah, so guys, you can see now we have achieved what we wanted. So remember, when you just, it takes the, the global word, it takes the entire, when you have just that p, if you do not specify the class, it will affect the other elements. So I think that these now that are perfect. So let's create another thing here, another class, and perhaps we'll add some images and so forth. But now it's bringing an error here because I haven't. So go to your HTML now, and then to this HTML I'm going to say, or what I do, let me just, so I'm going to create another div here. So the div is let me see, .row, so that it may pick the other one. So class is .row, but now also let me create also another div here. So div, actually let me say, so let me give it a class that platforms. So platform for offering those courses, training. So let me say platforms. Platforms, and yeah, and then create some space there. But remember always to make your stuff very organized. And so now here I'm going to add an image. So to add an image, remember, use img tag, and then I'm going to remember, make sure that you have images in your folder, so that you decide what kind of image that you are going to use. So let me go to open my cheat sheet, images. So when I use image 1, 2, 3 is not bad at all. It's not bad. Let me just use actually you specify the folder. So the folder is images, and then you put a /, and then you select this one 1.jpg, and then what else? We need to create also another class again for some text, small text there. So I'm going to create a class named layer. So .layer, and then the class is data. So the class is layer, and then let me create some h3 for title, h3, and then I'm going to say, first of all, the number one platform is going to be YouTube. Let me say YouTube. Is that the spelling for YouTube? YouTube. And then I'll save. But ensure that it is in there. Yeah, sure, it's perfect. And then I'll refresh, Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see our image, you have that image there. So YouTube, but remember, I want to add three images. So let me just do it. Before that, let me first of all style it. So let me style it. So the class is platforms. Remember, the class is platforms, right? Let me see. So yeah, class is platforms. So I'm going to say that platforms. Platforms. Yeah, platforms. And then open and close the curly braces. And then now In the first, let's give it a flex basis of flex basis. We give it what? Flex basis of what? Let's try that it will change. It will change if it will not work. So that 2% will change if it will not work. And then we have a border radius. So we want to create some image there. So we want to create that image to be, have some, border radius. So let me say 10 pixel. So that may not be that sharp at the angles. So 10 pixel. And then we're going to give it a margin. Margin for in the bottom. Margin bottom, we're going to give it let me say 30 pixel. And then what else? I'm going to give it a position should be relative. Position relative. Position, it is relative. And then overflow should be hidden. But remember, in this place, it should be what? It should be so let's make it let's make our image display. So display of that image should be block. Remember, I am just an inline, so we need to change it to make it block. Then our Ctrl+R. So guys, the image is not that perfect. It's not that perfect, but just for the sake of training, it's good to have a portrait image. Remember, it's good to have a portrait image on your end. But so this for it to have to be that perfect. Remember, it's now cutting. So this part, let me just cut, and let me just copy this part. Where is it? So I'm going to copy this entire part, and then copy and paste it so that it may be 3. And then save, and then refresh. So what I'm gonna do here is now to change the images, and then the name. So in this second part, so let me give it. We are offering the tutorials in the website, and then the name, the kind of image, let's change to 2. And then here let me say instructional documents. So let me say just instructional documents, or let me say just documents, instructional documents, like a PDF. So let me say, you can give it any name, but let me just change it, and let me say like in person, or let me just say Facebook. Facebook, and then change the image to number 3, and then I'll save, then refresh. So guys, you can see, but remember, you should have a portrait image. I don't have time to go to the internet and download the portrait image, or because I don't have images in my laptop. But you can choose a portrait image is good when you're using this section. just going to have get a portrait image here. So remember this was landscape. Now that's why it is cutting these other parts, but now for the sake of tutorial we'll use it. And then now let's style it further. So we want to make it appear in columns. So now yeah, we want to make it appear in columns. So create another column there, and then the selector should be platform. But now we are targeting img image, and then in the img we are going to give it a width. We're going to give it a width of 100%, and then display should be block. Let's make it block. Remember when we added some backgrounds at the bottom here, you can see it doesn't have those round corners. So when you say display block, it will have that effect. So display block, and then save, and then here refresh, Ctrl+R. So we want to style it to make it appear in columns. So to our CSS now, the select is layer. Actually the class is layer, so class is the selector now. So now I want to make a some background. So background color, I'm going to give it a color. Let me just use the rosy brown, and then I'm going to give it a height of, so the height is going to be that 100%, and then I'm going to give it a width again should be 100%, and then I'm going to give it position absolute. So position should be absolute, and then top 0, and then left also 0, left is 0. So let's save and see. Ctrl+S to save, and then now refresh. I've realized the reason why it wasn't displaying the in block format in that div. So I realized I've just realized that we did not close. Remember we have two divs, the first div and then actually the first div and then the second div, but I forgot to close. So let me just copy this part, and then I copy, and then I paste again there. Also these are the end I forgot to close. Remember I have two divs, so you must close twice, but this one it has a closing, and then this div, the last div, now closes this class named row. So when I save and then I refresh on the website, Ctrl+R, you can see we have 3 columns. But remember I told you that it's good to have a portrait image here for it to be displayed very perfect. But now we want to style it further to make our background color there. So they selected this part named layer. We remove that background because it wasn't displaying in a very right way. So I'm going to add a background. So a background color, I'm going to choose any color here. So remember last time I had chose it was let me choose a color here. I don't know, let me choose rose brown. Let me choose rose brown, and then control plus S2. Actually, control plus S. Should be control plus S to save. And then I refresh. Control plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see it is now that perfect. We need to add some. Let me use a value here, and I'm going to add an extension of alpha here to add some transparency. Actually, I don't know. So let me say a RGBA, and then now let me add an extension here of alpha. So comma dot 0.5 transparency to be halfway. Control plus R. So guys, you can see the transparency is, but now I want to make it in such a way that when it is normal, it is normal. It don't have any transparency here, just a normal image. It displays in in a opaque manner, in a way that it is visible. But when you have that's when it brings the transparency and some animation for this text. So to do that, we are going to create a, what I do, let me just copy this part, copy, and then I paste it here. Control plus V. I don't know, let me just copy properly. And then, but now when you have so you say have and then open and close the curly braces, and then now what I'm going to do, let me just copy this part, copy, and then so now this when you have but now this part when it's not just normal, let me remove and make it to display transparent. So transparent, just to be transparent, visible, and then I refresh. So guys, you can see, and then when I have that's when it changes to another color. But now I want to make this text animate, to have an animation for this text. So let's go to our CSS, and now the select is layer. So this time let's begin. I remember we had an error up there, so I'm going to say layer, but now we are targeting H3. Remember to select there. You can't just write H3 because it will affect other other H3, but now we are specifying for layers. So H3 for layers. So first of all, I'm going to give it a width of 100%, and then I'm going to give it a font weight of 500, and then I'm going to give a color. So color, which color will match here? Let me just choose white. Let me just choose white. But now the transparency here, so now the transparency, let me make it 0.7. So now here the color. So the color I'm going to give it white. The color I'm going to give it white, and then the font size. Font size is going to be, let me say 26 pixel, and then bottom should be 0. So bottom it should be bottom, not bottom. That's why I like Visual Studio Code. It always correct me. So bottom I'm going to give it 0, bottom 0, and then left left I'm going to give it 50%, and then transform I'm going to give it translate to -50%, -50%, and then the position should be absolute, so position should be absolute, always absolute. And then before that, let's save, and then refresh, Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see it's now at least pleasing. But now we want this text to have an animation when you have on it. That's way when it displays there and the text. So to do so, let's create a hover. So the class, just layer 3, copy, and then I paste it there. But now layer hover for H3, hover. Remember, hover should be after this layer, and then H3 at the end. And then now open and close the curly braces, and then I'm going to say bottom should be bottom. I'm going to give it 49%. Where is it? 49%. And then I'm going to give it opacity of 1. Opacity of 1. Let me give opacity of 1. But now here I'm going to change. So let me add an opacity here to be. So opacity in this other, when it is normal. So when it's normal, I'm going to give it an opacity of 0. So let's just refresh. Ctrl+S to save before refreshing, and then refresh. So guys, you can see it is now displaying the text when when you have a mouse on it. But now let's make a transition. So I'm going to say transition. Let me give it 0.5 seconds, and then save. So when you refresh, Ctrl+R, you can see guys, it is now animated. You can see YouTube, website, Facebook. So this is now the mode of teaching. So let's say when it is in the small screen, still it's perfect. Yeah, there's no need to add a media query. It is now displaying very well. So what I do, I guess we are done with that section. So let's create another section again. So before that, you go to your HTML, and then ensure this time I don't want to be confused. Let me just write at the end of this closing section, and then let me create a comment here and say, let me say this section I'm going to give it maybe the facilities that we have, facilities that we have. So then I create. So you're going to create a section again with the class facility. So section dot facility. So class is facilities. I don't know. Then save. So create some space there, and then now we are going to create. Before that, we are going to create some H1, a heading, and some description, brief description. So in this part, I'm going to say our facilities. So let me say our facilities, our facilities, yeah. And then also let's create a H3. Let's create a paragraph, actually paragraph. And then lorem what? Lorem. Let me this time use 20. Lorem 20 to generate a 20 text. So lorem 20. And then now let's go to our CSS and style, because when you refresh you can see it's not pleasing, it's not that perfect. You can see our text are not we need to style it. So let's go to the CSS. So to the CSS now, the selector was what? The selector was dot facilities. Let me just copy the class. When you write a different class, it will bring wonders. So dot facilities, and then open and close the curly braces, and then width I'm going to give it 80%, and then margin I'm going to give it auto, and then I'm going to give it to align the text align to be centered, text align centered, text align to be centered. And then the other thing that we wanna style here is the what? The padding. So padding for top, padding top. Now let me make it to create some space there at the top. Let me create a 100 pixel, and then I'll save. Then here just refresh, Ctrl plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see our facilities and some text there. And so guys, now that this part is now complete, let's create another section for where we're going to have our images like these ones. Although I have the landscape images, they're not that perfect, but we shall just use for the sake of tutorial. Remember, it's a crash course, so we don't have to dive into many things. So to this section, to this part, I'm going to create another div here. So I'm going to create a div, so class, so dot cost column. Actually, let me say facilities. Actually, facilities column. So it should be facilities column, and then what I'm going to do now I'm going to before this facilities column, let me add the main class here. So the main class is going to be let me just say dot row, then cut this part, this closing, and then now paste here. And then to this facilities call, I'm going to add an image again. I'm going to add an image, so we use the img tag. So img, and then remember, I'm going to remove this alternative text. Remember, this alternative text applies when you have a website and then you deleted some image perhaps where you had placed, so it will display some text to tell the users that this was the kind of image that was here, but now I'm sure that I have my images, so I'm going just to say images, and then I'm going to use 4. Remember the other ones were 1 2 3, so this is 4. And then let me add some what? Let me add some paragraph or some title before paragraph. So I'm going to say I'm going to give it H3. So in this H3 I'm going to say, perhaps let me say a world class what facilities, or whichever name you can give it. Remember, it's a crash course just to guide you how to create your own website. And then let's create a paragraph. In this paragraph, let me use lorem 10. Then just click Control plus S to save, and then here just refresh, Control plus R to refresh. So guys, we have this part, but now let me copy and have 3 columns. I want it to have some 3 columns. So let me just copy this part and delete this. Wait. So I'm going to copy and then just paste it here again, another, so you duplicate, and then save, then refresh. So now it's displaying, it's not that good. We need to style it further. So but probably let me try to remove this part. So let me undo. So in such a way that we only have where were we? So that we just have these 2. Image 4, so that you have 2 columns. So let me say 5. So this should be 5. Then Control plus S to save, and then I'll go to your CSS. Let's style it so that it may be that are presentable. So the select is going to be dot facilities call. And let me be sure. Column facility. What I do, let me just copy this part so that I may not type my things, and then let me delete, and then paste. So this is the selector now, and then flex basis, text editor, and then let's say dot facilities column, but now we are targeting the images img. Then open and close the curly braces. So I'm going to give it a width of 100%, actually 100%, and then I'm going to give it a border radius of 10 pixel, a 10 pixel, and then just save. Actually Control S to save, refresh. Yeah, let's just have these 2 sections here so that it may not complicate. But now let's just view on a small screen. It's perfect, very perfect. You don't need to style it any further. So this is perfect for small screen, and also on the large screen it is very perfect. But now we want to style it to create another section again. But before that, or let it just remain, or let's style it. Let's style those are paragraph and whatever. So I'm going to say, so the selector is going to be dot facilities, and then now create a curly braces and say padding, padding I'm going to give it 0 for paragraph, actually 0, not all, 0. And then let's create also for those are text. So it's going to be dot facilities dot facilities column dot h2 open and close the curly braces, and we are going to give it a margin top. Margin top is going to be let me give it a 16 pixel, 16 pixel, and then margin at the bottom I'm going to give it a 15 pixel. And then of course let me align the text to be at the left, text align, so that it may just be in the left hand side. And then save, click Ctrl plus S to save, and then here refresh, Ctrl plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see it's now very perfect for us. Yeah, it's very perfect. But my images are not that pleasing. I use the portrait, the landscape. You can use the portrait images, they are very perfect. And then so now when you are done with that, let's create a column, another section for testimonial. So now at the end of this closing part of the section, I'm going to create a comment here, and let me say testimonial. And so in this testimonial section, I'm going to create a section. So section dot testimonial. So the class is testimonial. I guess that's the correct spelling. And then create some space there, and then I'm going to give it another class there. So our class is going to be testimonial call. So test, let me say dot testimonial column, the testimonial column, and then let me create some space there, and then I add an image. So an image for testimonial. So I'm going to create an image here. I remember the tag for image is img, and then we can remove this alternative text. There's no need here. And then here I can say images, and then we are image number 6, right? Actually not, we are going to use testimonial 1 here, and then I'm going to create some paragraph, P for paragraph, and then say Lorem. So these are the comments, or the what this guy says. And then let's create the username. So I'm going to create a h3, H3, and then let me say this person was Nehemiah. So let me say Nehemiah Wekesa. But before this, I'm going to, I forgot to, let me add first of all some comments here. Actually, the H1. So H1. Actually H1. Let me say H1. H1, and then I'm going to give it let me say what our students say. The heading, what our students say. Say or says. Say what our students say. And then let's create some paragraphs here. So P for paragraph, and then let's generate some text. So Lorem 10, and then so now in this part let's create a div here for this img. So I'm going to say div or what I do, let me clear this part and then copy this section, cut, let me cut and paste it here. So this is the testimonial column, so what our students say. But now let's style this part for testimonial. So remember the text is testimonial. Save first of all, and then to the CSS now. Let's create a .testimonial. Actually, what I'll do, because I'm not sure with my spellings, I'm going to do this. Just copy this part, copy and paste to my CSS. So .testimonial, and then let me say I'm going to say give it a width of 80%, and then I'm going to give margin to be auto, and then I'm going to give it a padding to create some space at the top. So it should be padding top. I'm going to give it 100 pixel, and then what else to align the text. So text align should be centered. Then save. Remember this is the paragraph, but Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see we have this part of the testimonial. But I feel like in after every section I should be adding a horizontal line to split. So what I'll do, let me go to my HTML, and then let me in every section. So after header, so this part is just perfect. Courses. So at the end of this part, let me create a horizontal line. So a horizontal line, just like HR. Also this section, let me create a horizontal line again, HR, to the facilities. So again, this testimonial, let me create a HR, a horizontal line, and then I'll save and then refresh. Control plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see we have some horizontal line there, very perfect. Let's create a break tag again, BR. Now the break tag should be this section, this part. Yeah, I guess now this is perfect. But now this testimonial column, I want us to style it further so that it may be very organized. Where is the testimonial part? So it begins with this part. So let me just copy and make so let me copy and have 2 testimonials. So but now let me change to testimonial 2 and save. So let me just refresh. So you see the image is not picking. So the second image is JPEG, not JPG. So that's why it's displaying an error there. So save, and then I'll refresh. So you can see the image is very perfect. So now we want to style this image, these are testimonial part, in such a way that it may be very pleasing. So go to the CSS. Now to the CSS, I'm going to create so the selector is going to be what? Testimonial column. Let me just copy. I'm not sure it is a testimonial column, so let me just copy, or what I do, let me add a hyphen there, also a hyphen, yeah, just copy or save first of all, and then I'll here dot add testimonial column, and then let's style it so further so that it may be that pleasing. So flex basis. So flex basis, let's give it 40 because you have only 2 parts, not 3 columns. Flex basis is going to be 40%. 40% is going to be. Also in this other part, for what I'm going to give it for flex basis. So let me see. This part I'm going to give it a flex basis of 40% so that it may not leave a lot of space here. So here also let me give it a 40%. But now you are here, and then also we are going to create a border radius. So those images I want to make them have a border radius. So the border radius it is going to be 10 pixels again, 10 pixels for the entire that page, actually that testimonial part. And then I'm going to give it margin bottom is going to be again 5%, and then text align. Let's align the text to be, so align the text to be left, or yeah, so the text should be at the left. Sure, left is perfect. And then background background, you can give it any color. So this time let me just use the value. So let me say perhaps FF, and then perhaps 3F F3, so that it may be a bit, or let me just choose you know, like, so let me just choose that kind of color and then save. So the other thing that I want to write here is the padding. So padding, just padding. And let's give it 25 pixel. So 25 pixel. And then what else? So let me add a cursor pointer when you have on it. It shows the cursor pointer, and then the display should be flex. Not really. It should have, you know, you must close each items with a semicolon. So display should be flex, and then just save. Control plus S to save, and then now refresh. Control plus R to refresh. So still we need to style it very, very further, so that it may be not that pleasing. So go to your CSS, and again the selector is now going to be the image, just cost column, but now we are targeting the image. So let me just write dot, and then I paste there, and then we will write img, because we are targeting the image. So now with the image we are going to give it a height. So height, let's give it 40 pixel, so that it may be small, very small, and then we give it a margin of what? A margin left. Where is it? Margin dot left. So margin left, I'm going to give it let me give it 5%, and then I'm going to give it you know, the border radius to be 50%, so that it may be circle. So border radius, it may be circle. I'm going to give it 50%. So let me just save. Before that, no, 50%. And then let me add you know, some padding to that testimonial column. So let me just copy this part, or I have copied already, so let me just paste, and let me add some padding of 0% for the entire column. So padding, let me give it 0, and then save. So go to again to these CSS, the same CSS, and then let's create you know, another you know, paragraph, another selector. I'm kind of confused, but just bear with me, we are just finishing. So just write a testimonial column, and then now we are targeting the text. So paragraph, and then we are going to, so remember this should be P. This one should be P, and then now we are targeting this part should be H3, and so in this H3 we are going to give it a margin top. You realize that it was close to each other, so I'm going to give a margin top of 15 pixel, and then also I'm going to align. So text align. So text align, should be at the left hand side. So it's just perfect the way it is. And then just save. So guys, as you can see, we have some errors here, so we need to rectify. The first thing, this kind of image is not good, that's why it's the kind of oval. And then also this text should be below here, so we need to style that. So I've just realized that this text here should be in a div, so let me create a div for it. Before creating a div, let me change the image. So this is let me change an image. So the image should be, let me choose testimonial 3, and then also we need to create this text to be in a div. So div, so that the text should be different separately, should not be in a column, actually should be cut. Let me cut and paste, Control plus V to paste it there. And then also where else to the first testimonial. So this part I'm going to create a div again. So div, and then just cut and then paste it there and then save. So when I refresh, so guys, when you refresh, at least you can see our text are below, and then yeah, it's now very pleasing, but still we need to style it. You can see the images are very close to each other, so we need to style it further. So let's go to our CSS now. Yeah, to this CSS, and then we want to style it so that it may be, you know, that very perfect. And this IMG for image. What is the image? So margin left is going to be 5%. So now let me just change and say margin so that it may be general. Then save. Then Control plus R to refresh. So guys, at least you have some, you know, perfect space there. Yeah, you have some very perfect space there. So these are the testimonial. So this guy say this website is very pleasing to him. So you know, these are the testimonial, actually what the student says. Remember, this is what the student say. So now we want to add some, you know, some rating there. Those are, they are called what? Those are stars. Those stars for rating down here. So let's go to the font awesome library. So just write font awesome font awesome library, and then now we are going to the icon section. Icon, where, oh, not font awesome, actually should be font awesome, not Google whatever. Font awesome, here it is. So let it open, and then now we are going for the icons. Click on icons. I don't know why it's not opening. So yeah, it has opened the icons. So now I want to say star. So yeah, this is the star. So let's just type it. Yeah, click on it, actually click on it, then give it time to load. My laptop is a bit slow. So this is the star. I just click on it, copy, and then you can return and see the you know, this full star. How is it? So for the full star, just still perfect, but now I want to see the one for a half a star. Where is it? Half, yeah, for this I have. So have alt. So let me just copy to my CSS, to my HTML now. So to my HTML, to the testimonial part of it. So I'm going to paste it, the first of all, just below this first name, and then let me just paste it here. And then let me paste 5 of them. Paste how many? 1, 2, 3. Then this last one, let me copy this half a star. So and then just paste it there, and now copy this part, copy, and then paste it here. First of all, let me change the name here so that the name may not be that. So let me say John Ocheng or whichever name, and then now paste it there on Control plus, and then now let me remove this part and then copy. Let me just copy this one and then paste it there so that it may not be then save. Click Control plus S to save, and then go to your CSS now, and then refresh. So guys, you can see we have some, those are these icons, actually these icons. So but this text for H3, let me align them to be at the left hand side. So let me go to my CSS, but now we want to style these icons to change the color, perhaps the color. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a class. So class is .testimonial. It is in the testimonial .testimonial color, and then now not really not testimonial. Let me see. First of all, let me go to the HTML. It is in the it is in the testimonial column. So now I'm going to tag it now the FAS. Remember the class for these icons is FAS. FAS. And then now open and close the curly braces, and now you can say, you can give it you can change the color. You can change the color for those icons. So you can give it a color. So color should be red, and let me give it red. Then click Control plus S to save, and then here refresh, just refresh. Control plus R to refresh. So at least it's now pleasing. But now I don't know why this text is not pleasing for this the name. I want it to align at the left hand side. So probably let me go to the reason here. It is facilities should be testimonial. Sorry guys, it should be testimonial column, then save. Control plus S to save, then here refresh. So guys, you can see our text now are aligned to the left hand side. And so the other thing that we want to add here is the call to action button, call to action section. So at the end of this section, let's create a comment. Let's create a comment here and say, remember the comment you use this one. So let me say call to action. So call to action, and perhaps I'm going to say what to the call to action. So in this section, I'm going to create a section here. So section.cta. So call to action, I'm writing in short, so CTA. Then click enter. So now in this CTA, now we want to create a H1, or just let me say enroll for our courses now. Enroll for let me say for our online, for our courses, let me say courses now, and then let me create an anchor tag here. So in this anchor tag, I'm going to create here a button, so it will be a button. So let me say contact us. So this is the anchor tag. So but now let me create a class here again to be btn. So class, let me say btn, and then now let's save. But now I want to add the background image there for this tab. So just refresh. My internet is a bit slow. So now let's style it further. So let's style it further. So to our CSS now, we want to add a background image to that call to action. So to the CSS now, you just write .cta, then open and close the curly braces. So imagine I'm going to give it a 100 pixel bottom and bottom, top and bottom, and then auto left and right. And then the other thing that we want to give it, let's give it a width of let's give it 80%, and then now let's add some background image, and then we are going to use a linear gradient. So now in this linear gradient, I'm going to give it RG. Let me create something. So RG. So RGBA. Then give it a color code. So 0, actually 0. Dot comma, then 0.5. That's transparency. 0.5, and then now RGB, it's not bringing the color, so probably there's an error somewhere. Here it should not be the curly braces, just the normal bracket. Just write the normal bracket. Yeah, just write the normal bracket, and then now what you do, just copy this part. Yeah, just copy this part. Yeah, copy, and then paste it. Before you paste, just write a comma there, and then paste. And then when you're done, just here create a comma again. Then your URL now, So I don't know, let me just use that banner image. So mg images. It should be images, then / then let me just choose that banner image, banner. Then so now let's type that that image. So the image, but the position there, so the background position, we are going to make it center, and then the background size, I'm going to give it cover here, so that it should cover the content. So border radius, I always like to add some border at the corners. So border radius, let's give it 10 pixels so that it may have round corners. And then what is let's align now the text align. So text align should be center, and then now let's create some padding. So padding, I'm going to give it 100 pixel, both actually pixel both top and bottom, and then 0 left and right. So 0 left and right, then save. Then here refresh, Control plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see you have the background image here. But now the thing here, I want to create some, I want to change the color and whatever it is. So let's change the color here. So the text is it is picking this one, because remember the CTA we used it here. That's why it's picking it. Remember here, that's why it is picking automatic. But now we want to style this H1 to have at least a white color. So let's go to our CSS now. And then we want to style the H1. So just say H1. Before that, let's specify .cta, call to action, and now we are targeting the H1. Then open and close the curly braces, and give it a color. So color, let's give it white. So white, you can use a value, or you can use the name. Just the name, you just write white, and then margin. Let's create some margin at the bottom so that it may not be close to that button. So margin bottom, let's give it 40 pixel. 40 pixel, and then perhaps let's add a padding of 0. So padding, let's give it 0. Then I'll save, Control plus S to save, and then here refresh, Control plus R to refresh. So guys, you can see now the call to action is very perfect. But now let's see on a smaller screen if it's okay. To our smaller screen. Is it perfect? Yeah, so I guess it's now perfect. It's good, just good in small screen. For me, this pleases me. This is perfect for me. So now let me now close and then let me make a footer now. Let's create a footer now. We create a footer so to our HTML, and then after this, let's create a comment, and then let's say footer. So let's say footer, and then so we are going to give it a class. So the class name is going to be footer. So So let's say section first of all, section.footer. Section.footer, then create some space there, and then now in this section we are going to create a h1, or let's use h4, and then say about us, maybe about us, and then after that you can create some paragraph again. So P for paragraph, and then say Lorem, it may, so that Lorem 20, so that it may give some few text there. But remember, if you are designing your own website, just type the clear things. For me, I'm using this free text for the sake of time, so that I may not waste you typing. You know, I hate typing, so I'm using this free text. But for you, you can use just the clear things. You can pause the video and type very well before you proceed. Just save, and then refresh. Ctrl+R to refresh. So you can see we have some text down there, but now let's style it. Also go to the CSS. Before the media query, let me create some space. So now we are going to, so the selector is going to be footer, the class is footer, so the selector should be footer, and then open and close the curly braces, and then now we are going to style it. So let's say give it a width of 100%. And then let's align, so text align the text to be at the center, and then also let's give it a padding. So the padding, let's give it so padding, I'm going to give it 30 pixel, and then this top and bottom, and then 0 from left and right, and then just save. Ctrl+S to save. Then here refresh. Ctrl+R to refresh. But now let's add some break tags here, so that at least it may be a bit good. So let's add some break tag. Perhaps let's add it here. So angle bracket, then BR. Yeah, BR. So break tag, and then save. Then Ctrl+R. Still, but let me remove it here. And perhaps let me add it here. And then save. Yeah, that's perfect. That's just perfect for me. And then I'll go to our CSS now, and then perhaps let's try to style it so that it may be, so the class is .footer, but now we are targeting h4, so open and close the curly braces, and then so margin bottom, let's give it margin bottom, let's give it what, even 25 pixels, not bad, 25 pixels. And then margin top, let's give it 20 pixels. And then we are going to the font weight. So font weight is gonna be 600. Let's just choose 600. And then so let's save. Ctrl+R. So at least it's now perfect. So guys, now that we are done with that part, so let's create some social icons down there for Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so forth. So to do so, let's go to our font awesome, just our font awesome, and then give it time to load, and then you are going to type, let's go to these icons menu here. Then I give it time to load. My laptop is a bit slow. Then I'll just type Facebook. Actually Facebook. So here is Facebook. I wrote very bad. So Facebook. So this is the tag for Facebook. Just click on it, copy, and then you can actually clear this part. And then I'll go to the HTML. So now here you are going to give it a class dot icons, and then so the first icon we are going to give it Facebook. So let me just paste several and change the name, perhaps 4, and then the name, I'm going to change the name. So here I'm going to give it let's say Twitter. I don't know if that's the spelling for Twitter. And then Instagram. And then you have LinkedIn. LinkedIn. Then save, and then refresh on your browser. Ctrl+R to refresh. So guys, you can see we have some, those are social icons there. But now we want to style it. At least to create some space between them. So the class name is FAB. So this time is this FAB. Remember they changed. So the other class was FAS. So this one is FAB. So the class will go to your CSS now, and then I'm sure that you've mastered the class footer, and then dot FAB, and then open and close the curly braces, and then give it padding. The padding of let's give it a 10 pixel. But now let's change the color. So color, you can style each you can style each each icon. You can style each icon with an inline CSS. But now let me just style all of them. So remember, you can style in any of them separately with an inline CSS. So let me show you, perhaps. So for Instagram, so go to the Instagram. It is sometimes red, something like red. So you are going to create a class here. So you not class, just type style, and then I'm going to give it a color, and perhaps let's give it red, and then save. When you refresh, you can see the Instagram is red, so the LinkedIn. So I guess this is perfect. And then now let's add a horizontal line. Let's add a horizontal line, and then after this horizontal line, I'm going to create another art. So let me create a div, and then let me add a corporate message here. So I'm going to say at maybe this is 2022, so 2022 dot let me say all right. Actually it's combined, all rights reserved, and then you can add this line It's where is it in my keyboard? So there's certain line. I don't see it on my, here it is. So here, just write that thing. I don't know the name of it, and then you can say perhaps design, designed by again, give it specify that line here, and then perhaps give it your name. So let me say name tag underscore ke. That's my brand. So, and then I save, Ctrl+S to save. Actually it should be in a paragraph. I'm kind of tired. Copy, and then let me just copy this part, cut, and paste it here, and then I'll save. So perhaps we will need to style it, but let me just show you. So this is the horizontal line, and then the corporate message. So the corporate message, but let me try to remove this horizontal line. Why is it this HR? And then I save, Ctrl+R. So yeah, I guess that this is perfect. So now but now let's see in our small screen. So let's see if it is perfect. Yeah, even in the smaller screen it is very perfect. So guys, now we have a very responsive home page. So guys, you can see I have a very beautiful logo here. I have the navigation bar. I have the the title. We gave it the world's top online university and some text. And then we have courses, and then we have this part, this course we offer, and then also some some mode of teaching. We use Facebook, Twitter, website to teach. And then we have some our facilities, and then we have some testimonial here, and then we have our call to action. So guys, because of time, I don't want to create other pages. You can create with the same format that we have used. But now let me show you how to link them. So let me just open let me enlarge the full screen. So this is my full screen. This is my my file explorer. So I'm going to create another document. Perhaps let's say let me say conduct dot so conduct dot HTML, and then click enter, and then I'm going to create also for let's say it was what about .html, and then what is blog. So blog.html. So now we're going to call the fresh for these other websites. So now to link them, so we are going your index.html is your what? Index.html is your main page. So you're going to link them here. Let's go to our, so you're going to link them where? Here. You see this place where we added the hash. So you're just going to type perhaps for this is home we are going to use our index.html, and then for about you're going to use the about.html, and then you are going to use this part you're going to use what contact. This is blog, so blog .html, and then this last one is going to be conduct.html, and then you save. So now we need to code afresh to these other pages. So let's see our CSS, and let's open our CSS and see. Refresh first of all. So guys, it will direct you to a blank page, except this home page. So when I click on it, you can see it directs me to another page because we haven't coded yet. And then sorry. So let me just return back, go back. So again, when I click these other ones, it directs me to another page. But perhaps let me try to copy this section for header. So let me just copy this section for header, and perhaps let me just copy this entire part. Let me just Ctrl+C to copy, and then now actually I'm going to let me go to the about. I'm using the example. Let me just paste. Actually, sorry. Control Z to undo. I thought so. Maybe Ctrl+C to copy here, and then now let me be sure that I've copied to the right place, and then now to the where was it? To the about, and then paste it there, and then go to your index, and then again let me just copy the footer section. So the footer section, and then I'm going to copy this part. So Ctrl+C, and then to it was about, and then I create some space there, and then add some footer there, and then I save. And save. So now on your page, when you go to the about, you can see it has this part. So I've just added the head, this part of the head, actually this part of the header, and then the footer. So you need to extract other section here, so about you. But for now, for the sake of time, let me just end it here, guys. So we have created a very perfect website that is very professional, responsive to all kind of devices. So you can see this there on larger screen, perhaps laptop, desktops and TVs. So you can see, guys, it is very professional. Then we created this this button. When you have on it gives some transition, and then also here in this part we have the courses we offer. So when you have on it changes to another color. Then you have mode of teaching. So when you have on it brings the names here, the text. Also we have our facilities. We have the testimonial section, you have call to action, then you have the footer. So guys, thank you so much for your time, but probably I'll create another video on how to create those other pages. But for now, really thank you so much, guys. See you in the next video, where we are going to begin straight away to JavaScript. We are going to begin to code JavaScript after this video. So just keep it here. Thank you for your time, and be blessed. Thank you.